Okay, good morning, fourth graders. This is your math lesson for April 7th, Thursday. The title of this lesson is More Decimal Number Stories. And we're going to be looking at page 292, which is this one right here. So you're going to want to find page 292. And these are pretty easy, I think, so we should fly through these pretty fast. The first one says, Deja draws a line segment that is 6.5 centimeters long. Then she makes the line segment 2 centimeters longer. How long is the line segment now? Well, first thing you got to decide is what kind of problem this is. And the answer to that is, if we're making it longer, we have this much, we put this much more on, you're adding to the line. So this is an addition problem, and it's actually really simple. Now, if I just gave you that, all of you would be able to do it. The real key to this with decimals is just making sure that they're lined up. And that works like any other place value. Your tenths are lined up and your ones are lined up, and then you can just add them. So go ahead and give that a try and see how many centimeters long Deja's line was. 5 plus 7, pause me if you aren't done yet. 5 plus 7 is 12 tenths. So we put our 2 down there. We're going to regroup our 1 whole. And don't forget your decimal point. There's going to be decimal points all the way through. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 more is 9. So I get 9.2 centimeters for the first one. So very simple to do this one. Let's take a look at the next one. This one says that the longest eastern garter snake on record was 48.7 inches long. The longest recorded eastern hognose snake was 3.2 inches shorter. How long was the longest eastern hognose snake? Okay, so we know that the garter snake is 48.7 inches long, and we know that the eastern hognose snake is 3.2 inches shorter. What are we going to need to do here? You try and set up the problem before I do. Hit pause on me, set it up. Okay, hopefully you have this set up. We need to take the length of the eastern garter snake and subtract how much shorter the eastern hognose snake. That's a long garter snake. Garter snakes, it's like a 4-foot garter snake. That's a big snake. Well, anyway, now it's a simple math problem. We're not going to focus on that, on the snakes, but let's subtract that and see what we get. 7 minus 2, if you haven't finished, pause me. 7 minus 2 is 5. 8 minus 3 is also 5. And 45. So I get for the eastern hognose snake was 45.5 inches long. Looking at the last one, on this page anyway, on Monday, Reagan ran before school. Then she ran 3.6 miles after school. By the end of the day, Reagan had run a total of 5.8 miles. How far did Reagan run before school? Now there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do this adding or subtracting. I want you to set up your problem right now. And I'll set it up both ways. So pause me and set up your problem. Okay, the way that I would probably do this is I know that that's how far she ran total. So I would probably start with that and subtract how far she ran after school to find out how much she ran before school. But another option would be she ran this much before school. I don't know how much she ran before school, but it should equal 5.8 at the end. And both ways will work. Here you're subtracting, here you're adding up. So if we subtract, go ahead and pause me and solve it if you haven't yet. If you did it the subtraction way, 8 tenths minus 6 tenths is 2 tenths, and 5 minus 3 is 2. Over here, you'd be looking at it this way. What plus 6 is 8? 2. And what plus 3 is 5? 2 more. So here are your answers in the middle, here are your answers down here, but any way you slice it, you should get 2.2 miles. Let's go on to page 293. got two problems on here. First one says, the winner of the 50-meter freestyle won the race with a time of 21.34 seconds. The second place finisher was 0.25 seconds slower than the winner. I couldn't read that for some reason. And the third place finisher was 29 hundredths seconds slower than the winner. What were the second and third place times? Okay, so this is a two-stepper. We know that the winner did it in 21.34 seconds. And we know that the second place one took more time, so it's in adding, and they were 0.25 seconds slower. So the first thing that you need to do is add that. That'll give you the time of the second place finisher. Go ahead and do that. 4 plus 5 is 9. If you haven't finished, pause me so you can solve it. 3 plus 2 is 5. 0 and 1 is 1, and 2. So the second place winner was 29.59 seconds. So now the third place winner was, here's the thing, there's two ways to do this, okay? The first way, we know that the third place finisher was 29 hundredths of a second slower than the winner. So we could do it with the winner again, and do this the same way. And you'll get an answer that way. Another thing you could do is realize that this and this are 4 apart. So it'd be like adding, you could also take the end time for the second place finisher and add 4 hundredths of a second. Either way will get you your answer. Go ahead and try and solve those. And I'll show you how you get the same answer with those. Okay, if you haven't finished doing these, make sure you pause me so you have a chance to finish. 4 plus 9 is 13. I carry my 10th. 1 and 3 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. That's 6/10. 1, 2. So here I get 21.63. You're going to end up with the same answer over here because 9 hundredths plus 4 hundredths is 13 hundredths. You carry your 10th. 1/10 and 5/10 is 6/10, and then you have 21. So either way, I get my 21.63 seconds. Last one of these for the day before I tell you about your math boxes. A newborn baby weighed 3.4 kilograms. A newborn hippo weighed 9 times as much. How much did the newborn hippo weigh? Alright, this is the first time today that we are getting into what it would be like to multiply a decimal and a whole number. So what I would do is I'd set it up like this. 3.4 times 9, okay? And we've kind of done this before with the money. It's actually not so bad. It's just like doing anything else. Now, I messed up there. Because we're multiplying by 9, we're still going to need a decimal point down here because there's going to be a decimal more likely than not. And you'll see why. But the first thing that we have to do is take just 9 times 3. And now I know normally we'd put a 0. You could put a 0 in that decimal place because 9 times 3 is going to be something 0.0. What I mean by that is if we just do 9 times 3, solve that right now in your heads and get it written down. I forget about the 9, 1 less than 3 is 2. I try and think what plus 2 equals 9, that's 7. 9 times 3 is 27.0. So we're not going to have a decimal there. Where it's going to be important is when you do the 9 times 4 tenths. Because 9 times 4 tenths, we're just going to do 9 times 4, and we're going to write it like we would write a normal 9 times 4, but what would be your tens place is going to go here, and your ones is going to go there. Here's what I mean. Without writing it down, solve, figure out 9 times 4. Again, pause me if you don't have the answer yet. 9 times 4 is 36. And normally we'd write it over here. But we can't do that because it's the decimal point. So the 36 is actually 3.6. Here's why that is. It's like taking and adding 0.49 times. So if you look like here, I'd have Between these two, it'd be 0.8, another 0.8. And between those, I'd have 1.6, and you'd have to keep adding on 0.4s. That's what's actually happening there. Now it's just simply an addition problem, which makes this super easy. Go ahead, finish adding, write that in. 0 and 6 is 6/10. 3 and 7 is 10. Carry that. I get 30.6 kilograms. If you want to give try this a try down below, you can certainly do that. I'm talking about Mother's Day, which is pertinent. That's coming up on Sunday. Nate made punch for the Mother's Day party. Combined 1.25 liters of apple juice, 1.5 liters of pink lemonade, and 2 liters of ginger ale. How many liters of punch did Nate make? So you need to figure out adding those up. I'm not going to do it with you. You can do that as a challenge. We're going to look at your math boxes. I'm going to assign the whole thing for you here. This one we're doing everything on. We got through this one as a shorter lesson. So on this one, it says from 12 o'clock to 2, the hour hand moved about 60 degrees. And so how many degrees did it move between 12 and 5? So when it's 12 here, and it moves to 2, this is about 60 degrees. If it moved down here to the 5, how many degrees would it be from here to here? So without giving you too much, if you know that from here to here is 60, you might be able to figure out how much this part is and add that up. And I'll go over that with you guys Friday morning. Skateboards Plus packed 4,650 skateboards into boxes with 8 per box. Skateboards, etc. packed the same number of skateboards into boxes with 6 per box. How many more boxes did Skateboards, etc. need than Skateboards Plus? So we know that Skateboards, etc. is going to need more, so I'm going to do them first. So on your number model, if I'm doing them first, it's the same number, 4,650 divided by, they're putting them into boxes of 6, minus the same number from Skateboards Plus, 4,650, and theirs are in boxes of 8. And that's going to equal B for boxes. So divide this by 6, divide this by 8, and then subtract them to get that. Again, don't be afraid to use these videos, guys, when you're actually doing your math box, to remind you what to do. Choose true or false on these. I'm going to be a little nice on these, and I'm just going to tell you to choose 2 of these. And over here, I'm not going to be quite as nice, but I'm going to tell you to choose, let's have you do 3 of them, okay? So I'm cutting that down a little bit for you. Down here, explain how you use the remainders in problem 2. Apparently there's going to be remainders. You're going to have to think about what you'd need to do with the number of boxes that you have. Alright guys, have a great day.